Right, so sentence correction. Right, one of the sections of the verbal section in the GMAT is called sentence correction, and it's basically grammar. You get about 15 questions per section, okay, and it's about, what's that, 35% of the whole verbal section. So you get a short passage with an underlined part. You are expected to correct the underlined part. You will have 5 answer choices and must choose the best one. The first answer choice always repeats the underlined part of the passage. Right, so 14 to 15 questions per section. It's designed to measure your command of English. 2 important areas are correct expression and effective expression. So sometimes there's not always an error. Even though it's called sentence correction, sometimes there's not an error, but you're being asked to improve the sentence. Okay? So you're being asked to just make it sound better, not necessarily to correct it. Okay. Right, so it does not measure punctuation or vocabulary. Right, here's an example then. See if you can identify what's wrong with that. Thesaurus can be a useful tool for writers, providing he knows how to use it correctly.
For writers, providing how to use it correctly.
Yeah, so there's something wrong with that sentence.
Can be a useful tool for writers. I think we can eliminate C.
A writer providing... Okay, so hang on. Thesaurus can be useful to writers. For a writer, providing he knows how. Providing... Do you mean, so when you say eliminate C, do you mean that's the choice that you want, or... So we're looking for... The bit that's underlined is incorrect grammatically. So you're looking for one of the options which makes it correct.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. So see if you can tell me what's wrong with the sentence first.
Thesaurus we cannot identify this is male or female.
No, a thesaurus is just a book. But, I mean,
okay.
But really, you don't need to know what a thesaurus means to be able to do this question, because the problem here is a problem of grammar. So you can actually find the problem without knowing what thesaurus means. We could just say a dictionary. Imagine it said a dictionary instead of a thesaurus. So a dictionary can be a useful tool for writers, providing he knows how to use it correctly. So the question is then, what would be wrong with that sentence?
Now I don't know what's wrong with this sentence.
Okay, that's fine. You don't always have to know what's wrong with it. Okay, so look at this. The dictionary can be a useful tool for writers. Is that plural or singular?
No, it's plural form.
Plural form, yes, because it says writers. It's got an S on the end. It's plural. Okay. Right. And then it says, providing he knows how to use it correctly. Is he... Yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be consistent, if it's a plural subject there, I mean, it should be a plural pronoun. So it would be either writer and then he, she, something like that, or they, writers and they. So we need to solve this problem, because we've got an inconsistency here. The writers is plural, but he, the pronoun, is singular. So we need one of these that correct that problem. So if you said that A just restates that one. B, writers providing he knows how to use such a book. It doesn't correct the problem. C, a writer providing he knows how to use them. Now this introduces another problem because them is plural. Here we've got thesaurus, which is singular. Okay. So D, writers providing she knows how to use it. That doesn't correct the problem, does it? It just removes he and puts she. It's still singular. So then we have E, writers providing they know how to use it. So what do you think about E as an option?
I think it's correct option.
Yeah, it's correct because it removes that problem there that we identified. Okay. Right. So that's what you have to do in the sentence correction. So the basic grammar, these are the types of sentence correction problems we get in the GMAT. Could be word order, adjectives and adverbs, comparative, superlatives, person, tense, and voice. That's just some of them. So do you know what comparatives are?
Yes, but I cannot explain
Yeah,
in
okay.
English.
Yeah, comparative adjectives, where you're comparing things. So
yes, it's like more or the most.
Yeah, exactly. The most is a superlative. More is a comparative. Better than, bigger than,
but easier.
Easier than, yeah, faster than. Yeah, these are comparatives. So, yeah, okay, so these are just some of the grammar problems that you get. Subject, verb, object issues. In English, we have sentences that normally begin with the subject, followed by the action or the state, this is the verb, and they end with an object. So, for example, the dog runs home. Okay. The dog is subject, verb, object. And that's normally how English sentences, work. Adjectives and adverbs. So adjectives modify nouns, adverbs modify verbs. Okay. We'll probably look at this in a bit more detail at weekend, but just going over it quickly here. Comparatives and superlatives. Third person singular. I walk, we walk, you walk, you walk, he, she, it walks, they walk. So these are common errors that come up in the sentence correction section that we have to identify. Tense, so past perfect, present tense, present perfect, future tense, and so on. There's a list of types of errors. So if there's anything on there that you don't understand the meaning of, these are things that you'll have to sort of improve your understanding of. Passive voice, pronoun agreement. It's quite tough. It's quite difficult stuff, this. So we're going to spend quite a bit of time on this in the next weeks. Subjunctive. This is a conditional tense, like if or were. Hypothetical sort of situations. Yeah. We will come across it. Hang on, let's have a look at some examples here. Yeah, so here's one. Improved sonar technology, together with less stringent quotas, account for the recent increase in the amount of fish caught by commercial vessels. So, what's wrong with that?
I think here we have problem with tense.
Okay, why?
Because account it's present,
Yeah.
and we have in the amount of fish caught,
Yeah.
it's past. And
Um,
improved personal technology. No, it's not past.
so it's not tense, is it? Are you saying it's not tense, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's not tense.
Okay, yeah, it's not tense, that's right.
Okay. Listen. Uh-huh.
You think you have it?
And amount
Yeah.
of fish, it's countable, yes.
Um,
Number,
yeah.
it's maybe with amount of fish, number of fish, number amount, number of fish. I don't understand the difference between amount and number.
Right, okay, so that's not the problem. That's not the problem in this one. So it's quite hard, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's quite hard. It's quite difficult to identify the problem. Okay, so I'll give you.
In the last example, when you said about the problem, and I quickly understand
Yeah.
this is problem, and here I don't know what's the problem.
Okay, so when you have a sentence like this, improved sonar technology, together with less stringent quotas, you count these as one thing. So improved sonar technology is the main thing, right? So you've got one subject really there, and then you've got a subsidiary subject. So improved sonar technology is the main thing. So you count that as one. And what it's saying is, as well as, in addition to, less stringent quotas, that's a secondary thing, accounts for, because it's a singular, it's counted as a singular subject. And you have accounts for. So it accounts for the recent increase in the amount of fish.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, so that would be C. Now, if you had not together with, but and, you remove the comma, and you have then improved sonar technology and stringent quotas account for, that would be correct, because you've got two things. They account for. Okay, so that's counted as two equal things. But when you have it like this, improved sonar technology, together with less stringent quotas, you're just counting that as one subject. And you would say it accounts for. Okay. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it?
No. Now when you say it about the problem, I think
Yeah.
it's not difficult.
Okay.
Why
Yeah. Of course.
I don't understand this problem.
Yeah.
It's a solid technology. It's a singular form account. It's a verb.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So it makes sense now.
I think it's I must be more attentive.
Yeah. Well, you learn that with practice. You just got to practice a lot more.